So yeah, I think we'll start off then. So just a quick intro then. So we are probably going to have a bit of a short one today based on what's been happening this last week. So generally we just provide a weekly update. It's a bit of a fireside chat. We'll start off with the team, the partners talking about what's been happening behind the scenes, any major updates that we feel are noteworthy. And then we'll just open up the floor for Q&A. Feel free to ask questions as we're going along anyway. And then what we're sort of looking to focus on for today's call is what's been going on with the FTX and the stuff around that and the fallout that's inevitable along with the macro on that. So with that said, Trevor, I'll hand over to you and we'll start.
Sure thing. So, 1 second, sorry.
That's all right.
Closed out of the window. All right, so basically what we have done lately is focused on creating a marketing strategy moving forward. I think Christine's actually going to talk about that a little bit, but reviewed some content as a group and really just thinking about how we can launch systems in tandem with marketing at the same time. So have everything working simultaneously at the same time. We can iron out little issues here and there. We can adjust things as needed, but I think, well, from personal experience and what we see in the crypto space anyway, just generally, I guess, you see that people are building the plane while they're flying it, which I think is a stupid idea, and it just doesn't work. So we're taking our time. We're still working on the course, but we're meticulously planning the marketing strategy, checking our list twice, and seeing if there's anything that we can add to it. Christine can talk a little bit about the Symposium Sundays and what we have done so far, just generally for marketing, I guess, in the future. And then G and I, it's kind of a waiting game on the dev for the website right now. She's working diligently on it. And believe you me, I'm on her. But in the meantime, G and I are conceptually working on some infographics that we're going to use for email marketing and in other places. So for the course, and just generally helpful visuals for people to understand, proof of work, proof of stake, how to set up a MetaMask, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you can watch a YouTube video, but I think it's a lot easier if you just can pull up a graphic and just follow 6 steps, right? I don't know. There's different types of learners, and we're also trying to capture or capitalize on an area that I don't think really many people are utilizing in the crypto space. And if they do, they're really helpful Twitter accounts typically, right? If they have these infographics or they utilize them, they're generally putting out like high quality content. So we want to be like running parallel to that, I guess. So that is it for me. Christine, you want to talk a little bit about the marketing? Whatever you want to say.
So yes, reviewing the marketing plan quite a bit lately. Just diving a little bit deeper with it. Symposium Sundays is a great example. The concept was there. Now we're just detailing it out. I put up an announcement that kind of went over some topics that I guess I've mulled over and the team's mulled over that coincides with the DeFi-Logic method, making sure not only are we covering crypto topics, but we're also covering self-awareness topics. So if anybody does have an interest in any of those or has any ideas in addition to those, feel free to let me know. If not, just going forward, I might reach out individually and just see if anybody's interested in talking. Nothing too detailed on those, just for the community, putting them out there. If we want to tie them to your social medias, we're happy to do that as well. So just kind of detailing that out a little bit more. When it comes to the marketing plan, doing that as well. So as things are starting to come together, making sure marketing is not missing anything, and that all of the little things are kind of ready to go when everything else is ready to go. So just taking it deeper more on the marketing side is what I've been up to, and just making sure I'm not missing any opportunities, but also looking at possibly if anything's changed in the space, and making sure that planning ahead for those type of things, because marketing, there's a lot of marketing people think works fine, but unless you're constantly reviewing it, you could be putting your efforts in the wrong place. So that has been a big thing, just looking over everything, making sure everything's done. And with that in mind too, also have a meeting this week with a designer that hopefully we'll see if it'll work out, but hopefully bring some just extra fun things to the community. So that meeting will happen this week as well. So maybe an update on that next week if and that's just about everything for marketing.
Cool. Thanks, Christine. So yeah, I guess we'll open up for Q&A, but also I think we're just gonna sort of have a conversation more about the FTX side of things. Trevor, do you want to take on that?
Yeah, it just seems to get worse. And
Yeah.
actually, something that Kyle said, Sloth said yesterday about, dude, where did you find that out about, like, Gensler is somehow connected with the CEO of FTX?
Oh yeah, I saw somebody mentioned about Caroline, the FTX CEO, her dad being like a former SEC chairman. So I looked it up, but no, he was actually a professor and for economics at MIT, or I don't know if he still is or former. So he and Gensler was actually working under him, so he was Gensler's boss. And then, SPF also went to MIT. Uh, I forgot what year, but yeah, he also graduated from MIT. So they're all connected, right? And then I know Gensler was working directly with SPF too on like regulatory framework for crypto.
Yeah, that's interesting because I watched the course videos on like the MIT blockchain courses from from that Gensler did, and he talks about that a couple times about how he covers people politically. It's like almost like a little ego trip thing for him. So now I saw that there was some like representative from, was it Michigan, maybe some Republican representative, and he like retweeted Gensler because Gensler was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going on Squawk and I'm going to talk about the recent crypto problems and this, that, and the other." And then he was like, "I'm getting a lot of calls to my office talking about how Gensler helped FTX figure out loopholes to like sidestep." I mean, we'll see what happens, but dude, this thing is just a fucking train wreck. It's unfucking real every single day. And now there's something about crypto.com sending over $1 billion of funds. Gee, you found that?
Yeah. So that's something that they've just come in within, I think, the last hour or so. That just before everything crashed on FTX, Crypto.com had sent $1 billion worth of crypto, and the transactions are all on the blockchain there, so it's verifiable. But no one's been able to work out whether the monies had come out or whether there still is liability across that. I'm trying to tag Chris, the CEO of Crypto.com, but he's probably busy since last night. They worked out that he accidentally, Crypto.com sent 300,000 $400 million worth of Ethereum from their own cold wallet to Gate.io by accident, and it took them then like 7 days to then return it. So over that week, they held on to that many million worth of Ethereum. And then there's all sorts of, I guess you may call it conspiracies or theories, that they were just trying to fill that hole for them, so that they could help with the proof of reserves.
I heard they only got 90% of it back too.
Yes, so they said they only got 90% back, but Chris has actually himself said, well, so they can only verify that 90% came back, but he said himself in his own tweet saying, no, we have received every dollar back. So the proof isn't there, but he's saying it, yeah.
This whole thing is fucking. I know I'm schizo and all that shit, but like this is a fucking coordinated attack. There's no way.
Yeah, if you
It-
think about, someone was saying earlier that from what you're saying there, that this, as soon as there was a collapse, there's so many different stories and information coming out. He did this, he did
Yeah,
that,
I
all
said
the way
that.
down to the orgies and all sorts. It's like, well, it's almost as if they were holding on for this information to release at the right time. So why did people sit on this information, knowing that they were number 2 in crypto
Right.
when it could have come out earlier?
Right. Exactly.
Or it's like the point that I was saying to you, said, well, it has to be just purely fundamental, and you're like, well, it can be both. They were just waiting for the right time to release this.
Yeah, I was talking about that with G about like the Wyckoff distribution. I've read some theories. I don't even remember if it was Wyckoff himself or if it was someone else that was explaining it. And basically, the people, like the elites at the top, they don't actually control these market cycles. They just figured out, okay, these cycles happen on their own, like some kind of like unconscious, fundamental cycle that happens with all economic markets,
You
right?
talking
And then
about
so
like
like,
accumulation, distribution, things like that.
well, the the Wyckoff distribution.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because the person I listened to was for stock, so he's called Gerald Peters, but he teaches like white coffin in kind of like a different way. He it's kind of white coffin because he teaches like accumulation, uptrend, which is markup, and then distribution and downtrend. It's the same thing as the white coffin method. I think it only has 3 stages, and he calls it the money flow. It's 4 stages, but like I mean it's pretty I mean it's like I said, I use it to when I post something in like the TA chat, a lot of times it's because of something from his trading method that I noticed, and like his method is based off of the white coffin method. Yeah, he throws in a few moving averages, but he throws in like the moving averages and RSIs to kind of like help him figure out the stages that are based off like the white coffin method.
Yeah, I think what I'm talking about a little bit more is like the true. I mean, it's theory, but the true correlation between the TA and the FA, right? And that like these market manipulators, they're only manipulating the market in terms of the distribution that, or like the cycle itself, right? So if they're looking at it and they're like, okay, we know that this cycle is something that's intrinsic to all markets. All we can do is we can just play into what already exists. So they're just gonna like, again, this is like conspiracy type thing, but I've heard it from multiple angles, and I think that I read something by Wyckoff himself that he explained it in this way. That the elites, all they do, or the people that have all the money that understand this, they just are like, okay, this is the peak of the Wyckoff distribution. We need to like dump some fucking fundamental analysis like fuckery to make sure it goes down so we can capitalize and help the cycle that already exists, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I kind of understand what you're saying. I've definitely heard like it's kind of like you're saying the news is in the price action. Like
Yeah.
basically, like the price action might show you something, and then like it might seem like, oh, this news came out of nowhere, but it kind of sometimes like the price action, it's like it shows you like something is coming, like we've been saying for the past 2 weeks, like what's all this ranging, like something is coming, and like
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So to me, it just seems this whole situation with FTX just seems too like, how can that many things go wrong from so many like angles? I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And then now he's in the mainstream media. I see it in CNBC that they're talking about he had a backdoor, SBF did, in FTX. So it's hitting the mainstream narrative now, which is which goes to my point that I made yesterday that like normies do not understand the full impact yet. but it's starting to trickle to mainstream media. And when they start understanding what just happened, they're gonna panic, and then there goes the markets.
I mean, how did Luna unfolded the same time Voyager, the same time Celsius?
Exactly.
That was another one where there was just like a triple, quadruple bam.
Right. So I think that plays into the theory that I'm talking about, and I'm pretty sure I read it from Richard.
Even goes back to
Wyckoff.
2008, right? You know, like the Lehman
Yep.
Brothers, like the collapse that affected everything. Like everything was so close to teetering and collapsing. It just seems like, you know, it's just happening again and again. You know, the cycle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like, I don't know what happens like whenever anyone really like higher ups, the thing that is gonna do the most manipulation like is discrediting, like, so, and delegitimizing. So like, you know, like they call conspiracy theorists a conspiracy theorist, like, and what is happening, like, you know, what happened with the stock market, like it makes people afraid to actually invest in it. What's happening with crypto, like they're seeing that, holy shit, like this is sweeping like the system that we have set up. And so they're, I don't know if they're like trying to do this, but you know, it seems that like everything is trying their best to like delegitimize this space so that people don't actually invest in this stuff. Because what is like the average person gonna say? Like they're gonna be like, yeah, I don't trust that crypto stuff, it's too like so and so. Oh yeah, like there's too many bad things in that. So if there's too much of either like a learning curve or B, like fear surrounding something or uncertainty, then people just aren't gonna like get into it. And it's gonna take a lot longer for it to actually like, you know, it's just gonna delay it. It's delaying the inevitable, but until it's so easy and readily accessible that people have no choice, like until the government like adopts it for them, is like, well, you know, the past few years, look, we finally made it safe for everybody. So I don't know, that's just my thoughts, but it just seems like, you know, through all these rugs, all these scandals and stuff, and it is weird having those close ties with like government officials and stuff. And yeah, I don't know, it just seems like more and more things to delegitimize the crypto space. So.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to what I'm saying is like they're trying to do that right now to force the market to go down. Plus, it also, I mean, you know, in the macro, if we're looking at the fundamentals, like inflation's still fucked, right? So they have to have things to blame it on.
Yeah, all these little nudges.
Yeah,
you know,
I feel like you can't imagine how many billions we lost in FTX, and that directly impacted inflation, or you know, whatever excuse they want to use.
they need their scapegoats. You know,
Exactly.
it
then
wasn't
now I'm
me.
seeing-
It was the last president.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a bunch of reports.
Blame it on
I
something
haven't
you
been-
can't control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When they probably controlled the whole thing, or like,
Yeah.
what's the word? Architectured, or what? They
Engineered.
architectured the whole engineered the whole thing.
Exactly. And now I'm seeing all these reports that like Ukraine funneled funds into FTX. Has anybody been able to verify that?
Yeah, when I saw it, it was more of a hearsay. I haven't seen any verification on that either, which is why I haven't put too much on it.
I know they were like acting as an intermediary at least. So like the people who were donating crypto, that crypto was being funneled through FTX and then I guess converted into fiat or whatever. So, you know, I guess it's like halfway true, right? But I don't know if it's like you can't.
Yeah,
really
the ones I saw were like QAnon style. It was like, I mean, it could be true. Not saying it's not, but it was like the money's going directly to Democrats. It's like, all right, well, then show me that. You know what I mean?
I mean,
How the fuck do
they
you know
were
that?
they were donating money. I think SPF donated. I forgot what was it, like 40 million or something. And I think he had pledged like up to $1 billion or something for like the next campaign. But then
Yeah.
he kind of retracted that statement later on.
Oh, like he promised to give away all his money. That
Basically,
guy's
yeah.
such that guy's
Yeah.
so full of shit, man. He's such a fucking liar.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Did you see that? You see Andrew Tate's take on that shit? It's very true.
Oh shit, I haven't yet. What did the top G
Yeah.
say?
He said
Yeah, I
that
posted
people
the video in the
yeah.
politics channel if you want to check it out. It's like a
Oh.
quick 2-minute video.
All right, I'm leaving. Bye.
Yeah, it's legit.
No, but he basically just says that anybody that's a billionaire and tries to wear their cheap fucking shirt and drive a fucking Corolla, they're lying to you. He's like, I'm not lying to you. I spend my money. He's like, these guys that are hoarding their money and living like they're poor, they're the ones you need to be aware of because they're the actual greedy ones.
Hmm.
And they're just trying to fucking like amass power, basically. He's like, I spend my money. I tell you I have a Bugatti. I tell you I have nice clothes. I have this watch. And these guys are lying to you what they're doing with their money, basically, is what I got.
Yeah, it's kind of true when you look at people like, Gates and
Yeah.
Zuckerberg and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Why couldn't
they'd
you just
rather
buy
spend their money not on Bugattis but on influence and power and
Exactly.
by like buying poor people vaccinations. That's clearly the way you do that.
Mm.
Yep. Exactly.
All he really needed was a fucking personal trainer, man. God damn.
Oh yeah. No, it's definitely true though. This whole thing, and I never liked SBF, and I didn't really know why. I just knew he was full of shit. Especially most recently when he was in that like debate, and they were talking about KYC, and then the dude, I forget who he was talking with, but the dude just like very calmly was like, okay, like explain like why KYC. I can't remember the specific application of it, but he's like, explain yourself. And then SBF was just like flustered. He's like, yeah, and I'm like, you're so full of shit. The rest of it was so coherent until he got to that point. He just still wanted to hold his point. It just seemed very political.
I just thought it was
So-
shady when he's trying to buy other companies that were collapsing, like talking about Voyager and Celsius and BlockFi.
Yeah.
Just seemed like he just stepped in here, and it didn't seem like it was like carefully calculated, like you would see like a intelligent, like well thought out business plan.
Right.
Just jumped in there, and I thought that was really suspicious when that happened. But I've never had any money in FTX.
No, me neither.
No.
But unfortunately, it affects all of us.
Yes.
Exactly. I did get a really good marketing email from Coinbase, honestly, or like a PR type
Oh yeah,
marketing
I saw
email.
that. That was good.
Yeah, it's very solid, and they explain thoroughly why we're not like them. You know?
Well, I mean, Coinbase is under like very specific guidelines. They're a publicly traded company. They
right.
have to like follow very strict guidelines. I don't think FTX was under those sort of the same obligation, along with Luna and all the other ones that collapsed.
Yeah,
No,
very
totally.
true.
I mean, I'm not saying regulation is great, but at least you know that people are actually looking at the books to some extent, especially after 2008.
Right.
Yeah, because like FTX was like outside the U.S., right? Like Caribbean.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to even register for.
They had the FTX US,
right. Okay.
so they were playing with regulators nicely, and that's where all the Gensler fucking shit is coming to light. We'll see what happens with it, but
But it's not like the whole company was there. There was only like a U.S. portion, and I'm sure, like, I mean, like let's be real. Like Chinese stocks are on the like U.S. stock exchange, and yet we really have no control or ownership of those companies. Like Alibaba, like we do in the case of U.S. companies like AT&T and Amazon. Where there's like actually real voting power, and you don't have to worry about a government or anything like that. So there's always some risk with these foreign entities.
Right,
It's just
because
consequences.
I saw like Elizabeth Warren saying something like, "This is
Oh my-
because of this. That's why we need more regulation." And then someone responded, "It's like, well, the guidelines were so unclear as to like companies operating outside the U.S. You let
Yeah.
this happen, like, you know."
Yeah, regulation is different for each country. Yeah, some countries, I mean, crypto is legal tender, and then in some countries it's not. And then even in some countries where it's legal tender, they have like certain exchanges have to follow like specific guidelines. And like yeah, FTX wasn't US based, but yeah, Coinbase being a US based company, it like definitely it gets regulated.
Right.
I would be very
Yeah.
surprised though if Coinbase went under, but you know the way some of these crypto companies been going, I mean, I don't know, but I'd still be very surprised if Coinbase like something happened to them. Like it seems like Crypto.com is doing some shady stuff, but like I'd be real surprised though if Coinbase got into some serious shit.
Yeah, I mean, Coinbase has been around for a long time too. I think FTX has been around a fraction of that time.
Very true. Yeah, they've only been around. I was actually surprised because I never had anything on FTX, so I didn't really pay attention. I knew of it, but they only kicked off in like 2019, so they've been around what, like maybe 2.5 years, maybe like for like one bull run, basically.
Coinbase has been around since 2012.
Right.
Oh,
So yeah, that always kind of caught me off guard too. FTX, like, where the hell did this company come from? It's just
Yeah.
like all of a sudden became like so dominant, and like, you know, they're like marketing it everywhere, naming, you know, like sports venues after it. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and then he's leading in front of the government and SEC. He's the one who's talking on behalf of everyone.
Oh, man.
Like,
Yeah,
well,
but there's actually another brand I know. I mean, it's like a personal IG person's brand, but like like a few people. I mean, kind of call this person. I don't want to like Nick call him out, but he's a big IG influencer. But they said he's like a con artist, and he's he got famous during like 2020, something like that. So built the brand during the bull run, and he got a whole bunch of sponsorships with like sports games and things like that, where they just showed his name on or showed the brand name on like flyers and things like that. But a lot of people, say he's a con artist. Like he doesn't have the money that he claims to have, or he doesn't even know about the tips on financial literacy and like, telling people how to leverage their credit or do certain things. But like he has a huge brand, like bigger than some like real reputable people. But like when it comes to advertisements and things like that, sometimes the advertisements and like yes, the advertisements just don't equate to like reputability. I can't even say it right. Reputability, but yeah, like you're like how well you're known. Like it definitely doesn't equal to your integrity because, like I said, plenty of people call that man a con artist, but he's uh, I mean, got deals with bigger, like huge brands just because he paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely true.
If you got the money, you can make yourself anything.
Yep. Look at David Moss.
Did you see that? Did you see that meme where they're like, FTX, that's going to be like the banker that's going to bail him out or something? That's pretty funny.
No, I
And it
didn't see
showed a picture of David Moss.
that. That's funny, dude. Yeah, who knows what's gonna happen with that?
Strong Block's probably like right down the street on the same block or something, man, as FTX.
Hey, they are. They're They're out of the Cayman Islands, aren't they? I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, but that would be funny.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything else going on in
Speaking
the
of, hey
space?
man, I don't mean to like diverge here, but what do you guys think about, like, I have not really paid much attention, but what's going on with El Salvador? Like, didn't they buy a bunch of Bitcoin at like 40
Oh
and
yeah.
50,000
Yeah, I
and
heard.
like
I saw
Yeah,
a
bought it
yeah,
down
post
at
about that.
30?
I saw a post that like they were something like they. I gotta look it up. I gotta look at it. It was something on Twitter, but like they made a statement after that whole debacle with FTX and all. Like, I mean, because Bitcoin went to like 16K, and they were DCAing at like 40 and 50K.
Yeah. Yeah, millions at a time too, man.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
Who
that
I,
knows,
I,
man?
I
that's like a
mean,
testament to how strong the public sentiment like is or was towards it too, and how
yeah,
like it's surprising. Once you get below that level, then you just enter into like fear territory and then experience territory where it's like, wow, this is like such amazing buy opportunity. But for a lot of
yeah,
people, like it had been going on for so long, they weren't, they're not ready for it. So the dip
yep.
that keeps on dipping.
I also saw MicroStrategies sold like 10,000 Bitcoin or something like that.
Oof.
Dang, I didn't know he realized the loss. I saw Unusual Whales posted. It was just like maybe a couple of days ago, like Sailor and MicroStrategy, they were like at around like a over 1 billion unrealized loss. I don't know if he realized any of that loss afterwards or before, but I know at the time of that post, it was like over 1 billion of unrealized loss of this Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Mark Cuban
Well,
trying to get back
that
some
sounds
FEMA
conservative
losses.
because they had like 4 or 5 billion in Bitcoin, and I mean, God, I think they were buying it on average at like 27 or 28,000 at one point, and they had over 100,000, which was something in the ballpark at the time of like 4 or 5 billion. So I think they sunk that much in it. So I'm sure billions, even on the conservative side.
Yeah, dude. They're dude. And people listen to them too. Like I know a
Uh
guy
huh.
that was like, yeah, yeah, I like RuPaul, dude. RuPaul or whatever the hell his name from Real Vision Finance. That dude, he fucking shilled the top of ETH. He's like, I know it's at 2,000, but I think it can go more. And I told somebody that was like, I think it's gonna go up. I'm like, listen, dude. And he bought it at like 1,600. I was like, listen, dude, you better fucking sell that shit at 2,000. And then what happened? It went to
Yep.
like 2022 or something like that, which is a fucking meme. I realized more recently. I was like, damn, it went to 2022, which is the year we're in. Didn't like Bitcoin go to like 69,420
Yeah,
for the top?
Bitcoin went to like a
Yeah.
meme number too.
Always
Like
the memes.
it's actually
It,
wild. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they really did stop at meme numbers. Like looking back on it, like
Yep.
damn.
dude,
Yep.
I had a buy
Some
order
whale
that
thought it was
triggered
funny and
at
then dumped then.
69,420.
Wait, what, KG?
I said I had a buy order that triggered at 69,420. I did it just for the memes, and I don't even know
Wow.
if it actually hit it, but it did. Coinbase pushed it through.
Yeah, I remember you
Damn.
posted that in the old server. Let's see if I can find the screenshot.
That's funny.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Look at
crazy.
the
But yeah,
article. It
these.
says, you go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say these influencers, these big influencers. We were talking about doing like evaluations of them on the website, like in the education section, and like just showing factual information of like they said like I said, like RuPaul, here's his video, here's a screenshot. We take like a section of the video just so we clip it out and just be like, yeah, and then look at the chart, look what happened. And there's so many people to do that with. Mark Cuban on Klima, fucking Katy Perry's fingernails, the last fucking was it
Don't forget
20
Mr. Wonderful.
exactly. Exactly. That was the recent one. Talking about buying fucking helium. Like, are you serious, dude? HNT? Who the hell is buying that? And he's like, I'm bullish. I'm adding to my position. Like, you're an idiot, dude. You're either an idiot or you're smart and you're a scumbag and you're using normies as exit liquidity.
Yeah, he was a pretty pretty big proponent of FTX as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think
I didn't know.
Mark Cuban, I think, like called him out on it.
Damn. Well, Mark Cuban's done some dumbass shit too, though.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, he was pushing Doge hard, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. And I don't think he's doing it for the memes either.
No, they were talking about accepting Doge for his basketball team's merchandise.
That's right.
Like that.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, you know, just like a year and a half ago, everybody was talking about how like Doge is going to be used in like everywhere, like grocery stores and ATMs. Like, there's a big push for that. So,
Where's so breezy at, dude?
Yeah, I never got that. Like they had some kind of like pseudo, like side chain thing that was going for a while on Dogecoin, but it wasn't like a real technology,
Doge chain.
Didn't
No,
make
it
sense.
was a community project.
Yeah. And it started as a joke and then just kind of turned into a community project, or they were trying to like make something out of it.
But yeah, there's actually quite a few things you can buy with with Doge, just like with Bitcoin and ETH. Like if you use Bitrefill, you can buy gift cards or groceries at a bunch of different stores, and even like do bill pay and stuff. I think they might even have options to pay your mortgage in crypto on there as well, and like auto loans and school loans and all that as well.
Not surprised. You get big enough back, you can do anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think they've been around for a while, so that's probably why.
Yeah, they're true.
Oh, you were talking about the whole professor at MIT and the parents and all of that good shit. Elon Musk just literally tweeted that picture just now. I'll just put it in the chat. I just put it in the chat here.
Like Caroline's father?
Yeah, Caroline, Sam, Gary.
It just clicked in my head that Sam Bankman-Fried, he also went to MIT, so I'm sure he knew them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I've just put the link in now, but yeah, Elon Musk is not talking about it all.
Wait, so what does all this mean? They're all like connected somehow?
Yeah,
besides homie banging that gremlin looking chick?
Yeah, Caroline, the CEO of FTX. So her father was a professor of economics, like economics theory at MIT, which is where Gensler also taught. So Caroline's father was actually Gary Gensler's former boss when he was working for MIT.
That's crazy. This situation is so fucked. It's just crooks all around. Like, it's just crooks.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I'm willing to bet there's some secret MIT society too.
Yeah, there's got to be some.
There's some club.
There's a secret group that definitely probably knew everything that was going on or something. Like, it probably wasn't just a couple, like 5 people or something. Those are like all that money, like all billions amount. Like, I mean, that's kind of crazy for 5 people to just waste away billions amount of money. There's got to be like a couple more people that were also having fun. Or like 5 or 10 people, but however many it was.
What a shit show.
Real.
So when's the next leg down coming?
I think we're in the middle of it right now.
Yeah, dude. I do have to say the Bitcoin cycle repeat chart has calculated a bit.
I'm wondering if what's going to happen with crypto.com. They're going to be the next one to fall, or
a lot of people are posting to take your money off. I mean, even like the Wealth Squad, like, I mean, they're trust and
Oh,
take
he
money
shilled
off.
hard.
But yeah, like yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they were shilling very hard in the beginning, and if they're posting to take your money off, it's like, yeah, it seems like something could be going on over there at crypto.com, or it looks like a lot of people don't think or aren't really liking crypto.com right now either.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
if people make another bank run on it, it's not going to be too good.
yeah, I mean, it was a good on ramp just because they had so many, chains available. But other
Not
than
to
that,
mention, you could get your money in like 10 minutes versus like the other ones would make you have a hold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
depends. I mean, with Coinbase, I never like it's pretty much instant for me. I can buy and send instantly. So
So did somebody ask what happened with crypto.com, or was that just me?
No, I
Wait,
was
wait.
asking as well.
How were you able to buy and send instantly on crypto on Coinbase? They only let me send 1,000 and then make me hold the rest.
are you? I guess it depends on how you're buying it, right? So are you doing it straight from your bank account, or are you using like a debit card?
Yeah, straight from the bank account.
Yeah. So if you do it that way, I think there is like a 1 day hold. So usually if you do it like through a debit card, it's instant. I mean, you pay a higher fee obviously for that, but you can take your funds off directly. You don't have to wait.
We got four
Oh,
left
okay.
from last. Maybe have to make some
Okay,
egg
okay.
salad.
You think
No, we
yeah,
got
KG
waste.
would
I'm gonna
go on.
freeze a lot of that salmon.
Yeah, like
Oh,
I do math.
Somebody talk about dinner.
Edge, what's for dinner?
But yeah, I think, well, as far as like,
Oh, sorry, man.
transaction goes, like,
Go ahead,
debit is
Sal.
instant. So like, with credit, you can dispute a credit charge. So like, yeah, debit transaction, once you spend that debit, the money's, taken out. So, I mean, I haven't had any problems either with transferring instantly on Coinbase because I also always did use my debit card.
Hmm. Was it KG with the crypto.com stuff? Just so you're aware, so there's just come to light about the way that they've been sending funds. So is that 300,000 Ethereum was accidentally sent from crypto.com's cold wallet to another exchange, Gate.io. And then it took them a week to get it back. And then people are questioning whether all of it came back or not, because they can only verify 90% came back. And then just today, people have seen more transactions that $1 billion worth of crypto was sent to FTX just moments, or say just before the FTX crash. And they haven't been able to verify whether that was taken out. So that it's just a lot coming out on whether, even with the whole FTX token and how that was being pushed, and a lot of value was held there. Now CRO token has a lot of value held, especially with the proof of reserves being made public. People are thinking that a lot of the signs are very similar to what crypto.com is, even the way Chris is sometimes. People don't like him and how he is and what he says. The same way, like someone mentioned earlier about the FTX arena, and you had the Staples Center as well, which is crypto.com center. So a lot of similarities there. And that's why the conversation is now.
With that crypto.com situation, why did they even move the funds out of their cold storage? I think I saw a
They were
post that said
transferring. They were supposed to transfer between wallets, but what Chris, the CEO, said is they accidentally pressed the wrong verified address. So, yeah, that's what they did. They were accidentally moving millions and millions of dollars, which is stupid.
accidentally. Yeah, that's what like got me questioning. Like, why are you accidentally moving, millions from cold storage? Like, it's already cold storage anyway, so you shouldn't be touching it unless you really, want to do something with it.
Mm-hmm. And they tell you on the crypto.com app too. They're like, whenever you're sending to a new wallet, never send a large amount. Make sure that it's like the right address before.
Yeah.
And then they're like, sorry, we can't, like, I sent, like, by mistake, like, try to send USDC from the Phantom network to my crypto.com wallet through, and I clicked EVM, or sorry, ERC20, and they're like, yeah, it's gone. And I was like, you can't send it back. And so I totally, fudged that one up, but still, it's like the same principle at play.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, but they were able to get theirs. Like that's what's also like got me thinking. So like they made a mistake, send it to the wrong address, but then still ended up, be able to get their funds back. Usually in crypto, you send it to the wrong address, you're fucked. Like it's over.
I mean, that's like a miracle,
Yeah, that's like definitely a miracle in crypto. Sending funds, like especially that amount of money to the wrong address, and still being able to get most of it back. At least they said they claimed to have gotten like 90 or 100% of it back.
Yeah, straight away pulled out all my money. So
Yeah, I've got nothing on exchanges right now.
Me neither. I wonder what the transaction cost for that was.
Oh,
That's true. Yeah, the gas fees to move all that money. That's true.
Yeah, people are eating it. I was seeing some like bigger profiles talking about like they were just eating the slippage.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of actions, a lot of things. I think now, I guess we can all be conscious, knowing what exactly how FTX has and is unfolding. We can be more conscious about if we're going to on-ramp, whether we do use crypto.com or whether we sort of refer that to our friends and anyone else who's onboarding, whether we say just be careful, get your money in and transfer straight out. That's something we normally would say anyway, but it's something that's going to be imperative going forward, with not just those who are in light and in question now, but any kind of centralized exchange.
Yeah, I mean nowadays, there's even options like straight. You can fund your wallet straight through MetaMask even.
Yes, yeah, but those don't cost a lot more.
Yeah, you're gonna pay a premium, but at least you'll know that you're gonna have control over your funds.
Yeah.
How do the fees compare on Coinbase to Crypto.com?
I believe the
They're
fees are
about the
cheaper
same from what I
on
last remember.
crypto.com. Actually, yeah, they are the same because the thing with crypto.com is they inflate their prices. So
Yes,
all the
that's the
prices
problem.
you see on crypto.com, they're very off, like noticeably up. Like Bitcoin can be $1,000 off if it's like very volatile on a certain day. It can be like $500 off, and like and then so the fee will be a little bit lower than Coinbase, but it won't matter because they inflate their prices to make up. And then they'll brag about how their fees is lower, but they're inflating their prices so much.
Right.
Yeah, and that's pretty not fair.
Nah. Yeah, I've wondered that. I wonder if they just have lag time, but it makes sense that they're doing something even more shiesty than just having a laggy operating system. So.
Yeah. Anyone got any other learnings or anything that they want to sort of share in case something that they found or going forward and stuff while we're talking about all this crap?
Nope, nothing
Trust
for me.
but verify.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I think it's we've come up to almost an hour now since we've been on. If anyone has any other questions or concerns, feel free to message us. If anyone wants to say anything now, feel free to do so. Otherwise, we'll see you in the server, and we will catch you next Sunday around the same time.
All right, boys. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.